Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Spectrum Talk. I actually wasn't going to record a podcast today because I'm not feeling up to it, but I can't sleep, so screw it. Right? I got stories to tell, so why not? Uh, um, I've shaved since this last podcast. Also, this one's not going to be live streamed because I have no upload speed for whatever reason. And I wanted to record it now before I'm not able to. That sounds scary. And I assure you it's not. Before I lose my train of thought or lose the will or whatever to do it. This is a great start, isn't it? This is professional shit. Yeah, very low energy. Very low energy. And it feels weird to record this thing in light of everything that's happened. You know, that's kind of sucked the energy out of me. And what happened yesterday has kind of sucked the energy out of me. I should be asleep right now. It's 11 at night, but I can't sleep, so here I am making content because I feel bad if I don't make content, which is gonna get weird. So here we are. You know, it almost sounds like I don't have anything to talk about, but I do because I had quite an eventful. What's today? Thursday, so Wednesday. Though the United States of America had a very eventful Wednesday as well, so I wasn't the only one, but mine got more eventful. So let's back up. So remember how I was in a lot of pain and I thought it was my heart? Well, that kind of came to a head Wednesday. I scheduled an EKG because there's a local urgent care that they have the ability to do EKGs, and I was like, was it going to be the cheapest and easiest way to do it? I just get this done. Let's just figure out what the hell is wrong with me. You just see the extent of the damage and then go from there. And my chest has been hurting like crazy. And blood work says something's wrong, so let's go do it. So after work, I go there. I wait an hour. I get to the urgent care. They pull me in, ask me a bunch of questions. They take my temperature. My temperature's high, but I wear a hat all the time, usually that felt hat. Actually, don't know where my felt hat is right now. Where the hell did Joe put? Okay, she put it on the other hook. Usually that felt hat, so I was gonna get warm. So I was like, oh, whatever. Well, I let it cool off for a few minutes. Text my temperature again with the one that they put, the little scanner, over 100 degrees. I have fever. Oh, that's not good. So then let's do it again. Let's orally. Okay. Go get the thermometer, stick it in my mouth, whatever. Still a fever. Oh, that's not good. Well, I didn't come here for a COVID test, so now I'll give me a COVID test. Get it done. I sit and wait for the damn thing to come up. Almost positive that that's going to come up positive. It doesn't. It comes up negative. This is like my third or fourth one that I've had that's come up negative, which is good. I was like, well, that's good. Weird, but good. I just seem to be sick from something else. Cool, I think. Probably not the best thing to have a fever when you're going into a place with heart issues, but and it not being related to the virus going around. I'm sick for some reason. Alrighty. So then they lay me down on the table, take my shirt off, and then hook me up all these damn little pads, and I gotta shave my chest a little bit because I'm a hairy monster, and get the damn things to stick. And they do it, and I thought an EKG took a lot longer to do. I remember when my wife got one done because she had a massive panic attack that I took very seriously because her grandmother died when she was 40 of a massive heart attack while she was pregnant. So there's a history of people dying young for no reason in her family of heart problems. Whereas mine, well, they die sort of young at 63 years old. My nanny died of a severe heart attack that killed her instantly. She also smoked 2 or 3 packs a day and had stopped taking her blood pressure medication. and then didn't eat right. So yes, while she did die young, and she didn't deserve it, that adds up, right? Oh man, they burned to death. How'd they do that? Well, they doused themselves in gasoline and played with fireworks. Well, that seems to make sense. Incredibly sad, gone too soon. I miss her every day. But with Joe's grandmother, 40 years old, pregnant, and seems to be fine, dad comes home from school, finds her dead. Fuck. So when your 20-year-old wife falls out and they think it's a heart attack, you take her to the hospital, they hook her up to a bunch of doodads, whatever. Find nothing, everything's fine. And then I get a bill for like $2,000. So that's why I wanted to avoid the ER. This is why I went to urgent care. Also wanted to avoid the ER because if I didn't have the virus now, I was sure as hell going to get it by going to a damn ER that's packed full of people. Anyway, get the EKG, shoots out some paper. They take like an hour to read the damn thing. Comes up fine. Nothing. They find absolutely nothing. I have a completely healthy heart, according to the EKG. They asked me if they want to do a blood panel and actually look for specific cardiac markers. And I go, well, I might as well. I'm here. So then they hook me up and use a pretty small needle. It still hurt, but I hate needles. I know some people hate needles and they're scared of them, whatever. I got to get a shot in my ass every week, so I'm used to getting stuck. But I hate needles, especially in my arm, ones that have to sit there forever. I can feel it, and with my sensory issues, it gets painful. Because I can feel, it's not the stabbing, well, that's part of it, but it's like I can feel the muscles contracting around it and pulling on the needle, and you feel all the little grits, and it's just awful. It's just awful. I took a bunch of blood and went and tested it. I was like, how long is it going to take? I'm thinking a few days, right? They're like, 15 minutes. It's like, holy shit, okay. 30 minutes later, so it was longer than I thought. They come back. Blood work is completely fine, except for a few here and there. One's a little bit low, but like a point low. One's a little bit high, half a point high. But then one, and this is the only one that's off, is 60 points off. And because it was so off, they had to recommend that I go to an ER. I declined. Said no. Me sitting here thinking, looking, everything's fine except for this one thing, and I looked some stuff up, and it's like, it could be something bad, but it doesn't, myoglobin, which is what it was, doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. I'm gonna decline, and then I'm gonna go get a cardiologist, because I'm in between doctors at the moment anyway. I'll just go to my new doctor, and we'll figure some shit out there, and it should hopefully be a hell of a lot cheaper, and not as risky as going to ER. At this point in time, I've been in there for like 3 hours. I was hungry, so I had to wait for a bunch of shit to get done up, copies get made, paperwork, sign a bunch of stuff, paid like $300, which is much cheaper than an ER. For all that to get done, to sign a waiver so I couldn't sue them if something had happened when they told me to go to ER, even though they were like, nothing's going to happen, you're probably good, but we have to sign this so your family doesn't sue us if you die or get hurt or something like that. We just want you to know that we told you to go to the hospital. Oh yeah, I get it. I then make the mistake of texting my sister, who is usually pretty level-headed. I gave her all the information in a text message. It wasn't a scary text message. Wasn't been like, oh, I'm done. What do you want me to do? I was like, I kind of said I should go to the ER, but it's like one thing's bad. I don't know. It's like, what do you think I should do? Wanting feedback. I haven't eaten at this point. I'm very, very tired. Blood sugar is very low. Waiting to get my food at McDonald's, just right by the urgent care. My phone rings. It's my mother. Instead of, answering my questions, giving me some feedback, or even a stern talking to, my sister runs off to my mother, which she usually doesn't do, and tells her all this, and she freaks the fuck out, and then she basically yells at me to go to the ER. I try to fight it, because, all this information is telling me that I'm okay, I'm not dying, everything's fine. Plus, I don't want to spend a bunch of fucking money just for them to tell me the same shit. They're like, but they told you need to go to the ER. I'm like, yeah, it's one thing. I'll figure out with a cardiologist in like a week. It'll be fine. I'm not dying. I would like to eat my food now. Plus, I don't have a way to get there. Joe, my wife's got to be up she's got to be at work at 5. I can't miss work. She can't miss work. What do y'all want me to do? Finally, she talks me down. She's going to come pick me up, take me to the ER, because the ER that they recommended that I go to that could do more testing than what they could do at the urgent care is in Austin, which is an hour away from where I currently live. All right. So I'm like, I don't even know where to go. They looked up. They took me to a heart-specific hospital. Heart hospital like Texas or some shit like that. So then I eat. I get home, tell my wife what's going on, wait. They drive, they pick me up at like 10 o'clock, and then we go on our way to Austin. So we get there at like 11:30. So it's pretty late in the night. Like, I do all these weird bullshit procedures. They're not bullshit. It was all aggravating. Incredibly aggravating. I don't like hospitals. They set off all my warning signs. Not that I wouldn't go to one. The part of this makes it seem like I would never go to a hospital if I'm hurt. No, I don't like pain, and I want to figure shit out. But I also would like to be able to pay for it, and I would also, like to not put myself at risk in the middle of a fucking plague. But yeah, I don't like hospitals in general. I didn't like them when I was a kid, but I would definitely beg my parents to take me there, or one of my parents. The other one would take me where, but my mom to take me there if I was hurt. But when I can't afford to, and it ruined my life, if I get in a bunch of medical debt again, I don't want to go. That's a lot of stress that I can't handle. Hold on to that, by the way, that little tidbit. That just adds on to more stress that I can't handle. That becomes important. So I get there. Sign some shit. They put me in a room. Gotta take my shirt off, put this gown on. Then they hook me up to the EKG again. A bigger EKG with a bunch more leads and a bunch of different kinds of pads that are a hell of a lot more sticky and ripped hair out of the dadgum. Almost said socket, but it's not a socket. The fucking follicle. Holy shit, those things were bad. I didn't shave shit. The urgent care, they were like, you mind if we shave you? I was like, I don't give a shit. As long as you're not using like a sharp rock, I don't care. This one, there's like, oh, just stick it on the hairiest part of your chest. This one's going to be like on your nipple, so you're going to rip that motherfucker off. And then they're like, all right, we're going to put in an IV. I'm like, and to do some blood work. And I'm like, whoa. I just got blood work done. And this is what pissed me off. As the doctor asked, when I finally met the heart doctor, he asked, we're going to need to do a blood panel, cardiac panel. I was like, well, I just had one 2 hours ago. At this point, literally 2 hours ago. I have the packet of paperwork, which I did not get back. Packet of paperwork showing you everything. I need more testing, not the same test. I don't know why you hooked me up to EKG. That also said everything was fine. I could have already told you that. Nothing's happened in 2 hours. The nurse then asked for blood work. The doctor goes, no, it's like, well, we already got that. They then proceed to put the thickest fucking needle I've ever seen in my arm. I know a little bit about needles because I hate them, and I have to get a shot in the ass every week. Now, she said it was a 20 gauge needle, but I looked at that damn thing, and it was also a particular color, and different syringes, particularly the needles, have different colors based on their gauge. This was a pink one, and it was thick as hell. Looked like a fucking thick ass one. Actually, right here. See that thick little bastard? Right there? If it'll focus. Probably won't focus. It's not going to focus. For the audio listeners, 18 gauge needle. Thick. The smaller the gauge, the thicker it is. What do I usually use for my injections? 23 gauge needle. This particular needle I use to draw the medication out because it's thick. It's wide, it's got a bigger hole. And the medication I use, testosterone, is very viscous. It's an oil. So this just pulls it out a hell of a lot easier. Suck it up, take this off, put the thinner on, and inject it. If you injected me with this, I would shoot you. And that's what they put right here. And it's still sore as hell. To put in IV. Why they did this, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's standard protocol or some bullshit. I don't fucking... honestly, I don't care. I don't care if it's standard protocol because it made me mad and it hurt. I didn't need a damn IV. I didn't need more blood tests because they did the exact same blood test, which, by the way, all came back and said the same shit. That pissed me off. But whatever, protocol. Then I had to have the stupid fucking IV in my arm, and it hurt the entire time, throbbing, because, like I said, I have sensory issues. I can feel everything. It never got comfortable. Ever. I never was able to ignore it. Ever. It just got worse and worse and worse and worse. To the point I'm about to break the fucking edge of this bed off with my hand. I'm gripping it so tight the entire time. And I'm livid. I'm angry. But I'm glad that I'm here and we're finally going to figure out what the fuck is wrong with my heart. Doctor comes in, says that he doesn't believe there's anything wrong with my heart. All right, but we're going to do some more testing and figure some shit out. Okay. Now I'm getting mad. Madder. More angry. Because if you don't believe there's anything wrong with my heart, why the fuck is this giant needle in my arm that you weren't supposed to put in here to begin with? Because you already have the blood work. I don't, motherfucker. And I'm tired, and I'm confused and disoriented, and I wasn't really putting up much of a fight. But if I had been in, I don't know, if I'd been in a better state of mind, I'd have fought every single one of those people. And I kind of was. I wasn't the best patient. I was talkative, but I was not the best patient because I was mad. Very mad. So I didn't want to be there. Because one of my fears is that I'm going to go do all this, pay all this money just for them to tell me that one, there's nothing that they can do, and two, there's nothing wrong. Which is what the urgent care told me. And I was okay with that because I had paid for it and everything, and that's what I went there for. So then they bring out the big x-ray machine, take a bunch of x-rays, sent to them. There's nothing wrong with the heart, lungs, or anything that they can see on the x-ray. Everything seems to be fine. They make me drink some liquid lidocaine, some other bullshit, because he says it's probably just acid reflux. That's what's causing the pain in my chest. To which I laughed and said, no, it's not. And by the way, if you're thinking, oh, I'm being arrogant and he knows what he's talking about, he was absolutely right about acid reflux. No, he was actually wrong, because what they told me is when I drank this shit, it was going to numb my esophagus and everything, and the pain in my chest would go away. The pain in my chest got worse. So much fucking worse. And I told him that. It's like, I can't feel my tongue. It feels like I'm going to suffocate because I can't feel my fucking throat. That's an awful sensation. Every time you swallow, you have to, it's like life or death. It's an awful sensation. The pain in my chest got worse. Much worse. But for the first time ever, it did get numbed enough that I was able to locate the pain in my chest, and that's here. Right here under my pectoral. Not over here. And why that's important is, this is where your heart is. Your heart's on your left side. The pain that I was getting was kind of in the middle. It was resonating from the middle, which is why they were thinking it was acid reflux and some other bullshit. But it's over here. So unless my heart's on my right side for some stupid-ass reason, this isn't my heart. It could be related to my heart, it could be this, blah, 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 but it's not my heart directly. That's important, because once I realized this, because I've never been able to actually feel the exact location of the pain other than the fucking middle of my chest. Oh God, it hurts, make it stop. In fact, it hurts right now. And the reason it hurts so damn bad, and the reason my first round of blood work before the urgent care looked so weird when it came to CPK, because remember how I said CPK gets in your bloodstream when your muscles have broken down. So if you've done like a hard workout, or you have pulled or torn a muscle, strained a muscle, and it leaks into your bloodstream to show that, and it gets in really high levels if you're not eating enough protein, or your body can't build it back up. It's showing the breakdown of the muscle. This can also be a sign if there are some other diseases like heart disease, or what was it, some like muscular dystrophy, something like that, something that shows there's something wrong with your muscles not being able to build themselves up. That's important because I was like, well, all my muscles feel fine except for the one in the middle of my chest. And if you usually, when you tear something, hurt something really bad, you could feel it. And if you tear something, especially a pectoral, you can see it. You ever see lifters, big lifters, they tear their pectoral and it's just like black, becomes black because the blood leaks in there? Yeah. I don't see any of that. Well, turns out, and I was really hoping someone would have told me this before all this bullshit, the CPK level makes sense. And the reason my pain didn't stop but got worse, part of it, is because I did tear a muscle. Or pull the muscle or something. Right here. Right under my pectoral. But it's not the pectoral. It's one underneath it. It's not my heart. That's where a lot of the pain's coming from. CPK leaked in my blood because I have a bad muscle and it's trying to heal but can't. Just have to keep eating the protein and drinking the protein shakes. Okay. What about the other shit? The confusion, the passing out, fainting, all of that. What's that from? Okay. So the dude was telling me, and I kind of hate when doctors do this. Some doctors do this. And I came in there in a bad mood, and testosterone makes me ornery to begin with. But I'm usually pretty easygoing. He kept talking to me and explaining shit to me like it was the first time I had ever experienced any of this. Now, with this pain, is the first time I've ever experienced the pain. And there's a reason for that, because it's the first time I've ever torn something in my fucking chest. But the other shit, which was very similar to me losing blood sugar, or when your blood sugar flatlines, that's what it was feeling like, and I was fainting similar to it. Turns out, he said, that's due to panic attacks, which I thought was weird, and I called that out, and I said, that doesn't make any damn sense. Straight up said that. Because he kept telling me it's panic attack and anxiety. I said, that makes absolutely no sense. He's like, why? He goes, I actually tried to tell me, he's like, well, people don't realize this panic attacks don't usually happen in high stress. They usually get you when you're doing nothing, like watching TV or whatever, despite what the movies would tell you. To which I retorted, that's not true. And then he was like, I'm a doctor. But no, I was like, no, let's back up. I didn't fight as much because I was tired, and I was like, just get me the fuck out of here. I'm mad. You've already told me there's nothing wrong with me, or there's nothing wrong with my heart. Just get me out of here. The cap's like, got any more questions? Like, no. But what I wanted to say was, that's not true. Do panic attacks happen in low stress situations, or low stress situations where you're not doing anything? Yes, they can. Are they more likely? It kind of depends. Can they strike you at any moment? Yes. Panic attacks can be random, or they depend on triggers. You know how I know this? And I kept telling them this, and they kept ignoring me. You know how I know how panic attacks work and how anxiety attacks work? It's because I've been dealing with them for 25 years. I've had panic attacks knock me on the ground, make my chest so tight I thought I was having a heart attack. I've had shit happen, made me think I was going to die. I've also dealt with sensory overload as being a no shit autistic. So when you deal with these things long enough, you start to recognize them and go, oh, okay, this is not a panic attack. So I'm like, and he's like, that's the cause of your pain. And I said, no, it's not. Now, we know what the cause of the pain is. It's the fucking torn muscle. That makes more sense. But we had to figure that out outside of this. He kept telling me and explaining shit to me that I already knew. Now, he was being very nice about it and everything, but it was very condescending and it was pissing me off. Now, I get it. He was late. It was late at night and blah, 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 but that's your fucking job. And it's stressful to begin with, and the country had been attacked. I get it. I still don't care. When I tell you I know what these things are, because I've dealt with them my entire life, do not then explain to me what they are. Then I had my mother sitting next to me going, yeah, that's what I thought it was. No, shut the fuck up. Shut up. We both know what this is. When I try to explain something to you that you've dealt with your whole life, like if I explained to you how to be a mother, you'd be really pissed off with me because you've done that your entire life. let's not do this. If it is some form of new panic attack, okay, I will accept that, but don't act like I've never had one of these things before. People usually don't like admitting to panic attacks. So it's not like I'm coming in there fronting about how many panic attacks I have. I know very well what they feel like. You want to know? I also know what they look like. You know how I know that? Because I have a wife who has them all the fucking time. I'm having to deal with that all the fucking time. Do not treat me like someone who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about, man. And I swear there's a point where he's going to say something about autism and I almost jumped out of bed. Don't explain shit to me. Anyway, I was angry at this. Then I said, well, something about the chest pain doesn't make sense is, when the hell has a panic attack ever lasted 10 months? So I said, this pain has lasted since March. It started, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's the same pain, the same area every single fucking day. What the hell is going on? If you're about to tell me that you can have a panic attack that can last a year, that's either some wildly new information that none of the people, the doctors, the psychiatrists, the other shit that I've seen, when the literal mental hospital I had to go to, not from me, that I went to and everything, and we talked about panic attacks and shit and anxiety, had failed to mention. You're going to tell me that they can last a year, to which you said, no, but they can last hours. Like, can they last 24 hours? Well, no. It's not full panic. So mad. But it is a muscle tear. What I know now is I fucked up a muscle. And there was a period of time where the pain got better. It was actually a period of months. What I seem to have done is hurt that muscle worse. And now that I'm thinking about it as a pulled muscle, a pulled or torn muscle, and I'm thinking about how the pain hurts, because I've pulled a lot of them in my back before. I've pulled some in my arm and my shoulder. And I'm thinking about how this hurts. It feels exactly like a pulled muscle, and it's how I've been describing it. It's a pulled muscle. It didn't heal right the first time. It was fragile, and then I did it again. I fucked it up. Okay, that explains when my blood work was off on one end, and it was indicating that I had some muscle issues, despite none of my muscles feeling bad, except for apparently this one here. And when I had that thought, laying in the bed, I went and pushed down on my chest real hard, and took the pressure off. And when I did, it hurt so goddamn bad. But I had to push in a very specific way, and I was like, in a specific place. I was like, okay, this is a muscle. Fuck. Good news, though. Mom kept trying to tell me, this is good news, this is good news, this is good news. And yes, it is good news that my heart is not failing. That's good news. Why am I mad? One, I'm mad because I kept getting treated like a fucking child, didn't know what they were talking about. And two, I'm mad because, so that anxiety attack thing, right? The panic attack. What causes those? Stress. What was that reason I didn't want to go to a fucking hospital? Because of the undue stress it would add to my life for no reason. I'm finding out now, or found out, that the reason I'm fainting and passing out is not just due to panic attacks, which, by the way, a panic attack can't last a fucking year, but you can have a bunch of them. And I have had panic attacks since then that I've recognized. And you put a panic attack plus actual fucking chest pain from a torn muscle, it feels like a heart attack. Because that is a different kind of pain. Because I know what that chest pain on a panic attack feels like. It does not feel like a heart attack. Or, let me rephrase that. I haven't had a heart attack, so I wouldn't know. But it's different than this. Very different. I've also dealt with acid reflux my entire life, and they kept trying to explain to me what acid reflux was, and I was like, motherfucker, I threw up like 10 times every day in middle school. I threw up bile and shit. It burns. It hurt. I know what the shit feels like, man. And I took a bunch of medication. It stopped happening. I know what heartburn is. Stop trying to tell me the shit. Just fucking fix me. I'm mad the whole time because I'm like, each minute I'm here, it's like another $1,000. that I don't have. Um, and I'm thankful that nothing's wrong with me. And I'm thankful that they took the time and did all that bullshit to see that there was nothing wrong with me. Or, no, or let me rephrase that. Nothing wrong with my heart. But I'm so much more stressed out now. Because now, instead of there being something wrong that is fixable, we have moved on to something that's not fixable. I'm not suddenly going to get less stressed. Every job I've had has been incredibly stressful to a breaking point. Now, I did have a pretty stressful year. 2020 was awful. I know it was awful for everyone, but it was very awful for me. I lost my wife. I got kicked out of my house. I moved around a bunch. I was unemployed almost all of 2019. Then I got a job at Amazon, and then they like immediately fired me not too long after, and that was after my wife had left. And she had left me on Christmas. It did 2019 ended very poorly. 2020 just kept getting worse. Though it did get better. She came back, got shit fixed, got her on the right meds, figured, that's all great. No hate or ill will towards her. I don't blame her for any of this. When your mind fucks with you, it's literally not your fault, man. She had a psychotic break. I'm just very lucky it went one direction, not the other, because it could have ended up in her killing herself or me. The way it went, let's see that as a win. I'm worried now that I'm gonna have my own fucking psychotic break. Because what they said, it's just anxiety and stress. It kept saying panic attack. It's not a fucking panic attack. I hate that. Unless someone knows of a year-long panic attack, I'm pretty sure that would kill you. Almost 100% that would kill you. But what it is PTSD, or probably is it CPTSD or CTPSD or something like that? Which I already knew that. Ooh, see, now that's acid reflux. I know exactly what that feels like. Oh God, I ate a bunch of jalapeno kettle chips. So yeah, I have acid reflux. I know what that feels like. I got heartburn right now. I know what that feels like. Fucking child play compared to a torn muscle in your chest. But together, because I was having flashbacks and stuff all this time. I didn't put them. I'm pissed off at myself because I didn't put two and two together. So I was having panic attacks, but I wasn't having them. I wasn't having one that lasted a year. But when things got worse, it seems like I was having the chest pain on top of or panic attack on top of the chest pain, on top of the stress and everything else, the lack of sleep, everything put together, making me feel like I was dying. I am exhausted all the time. I have no strength. I've lost a lot of that. My mind is gone in a lot of aspects. That's real. What's the cause of that? More stress than my body can handle. More stress than my body can handle. Which, by the way, can lead to heart disease. Just, I'm fine now. But they told me something I already knew. I already knew I had PTSD. My childhood was not fun. I have nightmares about it all the time. I have flashbacks to it all the time. And what's fun about PTSD and autism is autism has a lot of similar things to PTSD, because they're like, do you have emotional flashbacks and triggers, stuff like that? Like, yes, I've also had that all the time with random bullshit. And it haunts me. It haunts me and causes me incredible pain and stress. Random bullshit. I also have a very traumatic past. Things that have come back in my mind. repressed memories that got unfucking repressed, and then I started to ask questions about it, and then it's like, oh yeah, this happened to you when you were a kid, and we all knew about it, and never brought it up. And that bugs me, because there was shit that I was obviously dealing with as a kid, and no one thought to bring it up. Not a soul thought to bring up, hey, shit happened to him when he was like 3. Maybe we should go get him a counselor, psychiatrist, something like that, because he's probably dealing with some horrendous shit. And this is before they knew I was autistic. For those that don't know, I was, I don't want to put a label on it, and I'm not going to reveal what happened or who it happened with, but something happened that was sexual in nature when I was about 3 years old. And I have memories of it. Very vivid memories. I used to think they were just weird dreams I would have. No, I have memories of it. And then when I started asking around one day when I was 24, found out, oh yeah, this happened. Whoops. I've had to deal with that. So yeah, that on top of the divorce of my parents, by the way, not mine. Of course, I didn't get divorced, so I guess it didn't count. We worked that out. My parents' divorce and all the horrible shit that happened in between all that, the things that I heard that were said to me, that haunts me to this day. It has absolutely molded me into I don't know what, but it's affected me. One of the reasons I'm terrified of having children. There is actually a want in me, a need for me to want to be a good father. I am terrified of having kids. I mean, I'm terrified right now because I can't fucking afford them. I don't want to bring a kid into this world and not be able to feed them, but I can't. I cannot risk becoming my father, and that haunts me. So it's not me just being fuck kids. I don't want kids. It's those two things fighting. I deal with that all the time. I deal with a lot of shit. I have to deal with things that I did and said that I didn't know better. I have to deal with so much shit, so many memories coming back and forth. Just all of that. Then what happened at the end of 2019 and then all of 2020. All this. And apparently my body is just shutting the fuck down. I can't sleep. And when I do sleep, I sleep for a whole day. I never get rested. My mind is a jumble. It's a mess. I'm losing certain faculties. It's not great, and the stress is killing me. Stress is literally killing me. And I'm feeling that mass depression coming back. Pisses me off as I didn't recognize it as this. I thought there was something legitimately wrong with my heart. Now that I know it's not, whenever it starts hurting worse, I just get mad. Like, stop it. And then continue to do what I'm doing. As before, it would get worse and I would slow down, try to calm down or whatever. Now I'm just like, it's just a fucking torn muscle. And a panic attack. Give a shit. I've gotten so good that it would take the strongest panic attacks to actually knock me down. Sensory overload is the only thing that's really hard to get used to. But even then, I can power through it, mostly, if I have to. If I have the right stems available, stuff like that, I can get through it. But it all hit me at once, at such a volume, in such a way that it confused me and made me think I was dying. It didn't help that there is a pandemic going on, to where symptoms of it are very similar to this, and then if you think you've already had the damn thing, which I may have, I got sick earlier this year, randomly, and it was weird. I felt weird. I had all that shortness of breath shit, and then I got really really sick for like a day, and then it was gone. And then after that, my chest hurt for a while. But after all these tests and everything, unless I have scar tissue, which they X-rayed it, so they can't see it. I don't know if you need something else to see scar tissue or whatever. But nothing's wrong with my fucking heart. So if I did get COVID, the effects here, I didn't get any. But it is known to hurt people's heart and hurt people's lungs. Also, it's been known to hurt people's brains. I didn't get any tests there, so who knows? Or it is just the stress eating me alive. So I was told that I'm basically losing my mind. What pisses me off is there's nothing I can do about it. Because I've done the pills, right? I've done anti-anxiety, antidepressants. I've been on a bunch of different ones and all this. That didn't make the stress any better. It kept me from going crazy in a way, and maybe going down a rabbit hole. And I'm not saying don't take the medications. Medications are good. Medications work. I know for a fact, especially if you get on the right one that helps you, because I literally went through some shit with someone who went insane. Had a psychotic break. Once I got on the proper medication, and it took its sweet time to take hold, but it did, everything started working out. It just took a while to pick up the pieces. But by April, we had picked up the pieces, and I moved back in, and everything was good. But apparently, what this is caused by, at least my mom's theory, is because of that year. What I didn't have the heart to tell her is all this year did was add on to it. Because I've had this shit for a very long time. She was like, you probably got PTSD from the whole divorce thing. I'm like, no, that didn't help. Maybe I have extra PTSD or CPTSD or whatever. But I've been dealing with PTSD forever. Forever. Literally forever. It just pisses me off so much. Because there's no fix for this. There's meds, and the meds can help, and I gotta get psychiatrists. But all that fucking shit costs so much goddamn money that I don't have. And it. Man, I hate answering the questions because I never know how to answer them. And then they give me something, they're like, oh, this should work. And I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean it should work? And then it doesn't work, or it makes shit worse. But even the stuff I was on, it didn't work. You know what actually worked the best out of everything, out of all the shit that they gave me? It's the stuff that I still take today, and that's Adderall. It's because I had a focus problem. I couldn't focus, and I couldn't get out of my own damn head, the manic depressive and all that stuff like that. But I took it, and once I was able to actually focus and complete my work and actually do that, I began to enjoy learning again, because I was actually able to learn again. I did enjoy school. Now, I hated school. I hated college. I hated actually doing it because it didn't work for me. Despite being very intelligent, very educated, and loving to learn, I hated every second of it. Every single second of it. School was a nightmare. Even when things were going well. It's a nightmare. I hated it. Hated it. People always say, I would love to be a kid again. I wouldn't. Fuck being a kid again. Fuck going back to that hellhole. Going back to that. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I liked college a hell of a lot better, but the fun parts about college had nothing to do with the education part. It had everything to do with theater and then stuff back at the dorm. That was it. And living on my own, basically. But I'm actually happier, despite my body not being as in good a shape. Though I was very close to committing suicide in college, so I'm probably in better shape now. But my body is, even though I'm falling apart, but I don't feel like dying. I don't want to die. I don't want to kill myself. So I guess I'm better. Um, but I just don't. Because getting on all that shit and doing all that before didn't fix anything. Things still got worse. The only thing that got fixed was when they gave me something that allowed me to focus, and I was able to complete my work and get shit done and learn again and get through high school. But it didn't help, and it sure as hell didn't help in college because I was suicidal, and I was losing my mind, and I was on both Adderall, and I think I went through 2 different kinds of antidepressants and anxiety medications, and they didn't help. And I stopped taking them. And when I stopped taking them, I actually felt better. And I haven't taken them since. Because I felt better. But those drugs, because they sure as hell didn't fix it then, aren't going to fix it now. Which is waking up sore. Waking up exhausted. Waking up tired. They didn't help me go to sleep. They didn't help me get up. They didn't do fucking anything. Maybe it's because I didn't find the right one. But I don't know. It's bad that I was hoping it was a heart problem, because there's a thing about a heart problem, and that is it's a problem. It's an actual physical problem. This isn't to diminish mental health, mental illnesses. Why the hell would I do that? No, mental health problems are real. They do affect you. Things that happen in your brain are absolutely real, and they should be treated as such. And they are physical. We call it mental for whatever stupid reason because it's in your mind. But when we think of something in the mind, we think of it something like in your imagination. But it's not. Do you know that epilepsy is in your mind? Think about it. Is it your lungs, your heart, or any of that? No, it's in your brain. Your brain's fucked up, for lack of a better word. It's fucked up, or better phrase. And it's causing it to misfire and causing you to have seizures. But it's all in your head. When we put it that way, we think of it being made up. And it's because of that this shit is so hard to deal with, especially in the nightmarescape that is the United States of America's healthcare system. That doesn't give a shit about people with mental illnesses. Dealing with jobs that do not care. But at least when you have a heart problem, though it may keep you from getting jobs, at least you can point and be like, this thing's fucked up. Here's this paper that says it's fucked up, and I gotta take these pills because it's fucked up. And they go, oh, okay, well, we get it, because if your heart explodes, we get it. I mean, they may not treat you any better, but it is better. And a lot of heart problems, they can fix shit. But if it's something that's in your mind, people don't care. They just go, get over it, or you're faking. I really thought I was done with this. Because living with autism is so hard to begin with. Well, this bullshit's so hard, and I've done so much to try to overcome a lot of it. Because no one cares. No one wants to accommodate for shit. No one cares. Because they're all a bunch of empathyless, apathetic pieces of shit. Everybody acts like they care so much until it comes to money, and then they don't care about anybody. They don't care about anybody but themselves. Most people. I mean, there's a lot of good people out there. But when you've been kicked around as much as I have, you start seeing shit for what it is, and it's people don't give a shit. Now, does that mean you shouldn't give a shit about people? Does that mean you should treat them like they treat you? Does that mean that you should become the monster? Hell fucking no. Keep your compassion, keep your empathy. That's what separates you, and that's what makes you better. And on the religious side of things, that's what being godly is. Don't ever lose your compassion or your empathy. Because that That's what makes us human. Fortunately, so many have lost it, or do their damnedest to lose it. So I don't know. What sucks is like I gotta get cleared by a doctor before I can start driving and operating forklifts and shit again, right? I don't think I'll ever get cleared. The way this works, there's no medication you can be on that stops this shit from happening. All it can do is make it easier. There's nothing that can stop it. So I may never be able to do this job again. That that sucks. Because not only does it hinder me at my current job, this limits any future employment opportunities. So I could just lie. Then I would put other people at risk, and I'm not the kind of person that wants to do that. There is no guarantee that I will not faint from overstress. And this job is stressful as hell, but so is every job. It's sort of the least stressful job I've had. But it's still stressful for stupid shit reasons that shouldn't be stressful to the actual employee. But that's just how it works. And since I am the way that I am on the spectrum, and I literally absorb everything around me and attempt to fucking navigate this bullshit world, I can't ignore the stress. People just say, "Oh, just don't worry about it." I'm like, no. There are some things that I don't worry about that do tear apart other people. Like stuff that I can't, certain things that I can't control that mean nothing. Um, certain things. Like whether or not a car is ugly. So people, they'll just tear them apart. If, oh, you hit a deer in your bumper and your car looks ugly and everybody looks at you. I'm like, I don't care. It's a car. I do care about how I look, but it's a car. People are like, why do you drive that thing around? It's like, because I have to get to fucking work. Why does it look like that? Because deers are heavy. And if you hit one going 60, they mess your front end up. Why haven't you got it fixed? Because I don't have any goddamn money. Have I answered all of your questions? But some people, that hurts them. To me, it doesn't. Because it would bother me if the car didn't work. But nothing about it is bad. Just the appearances. And I'm like, that sucks. And it pissed me off in the moment. And I was mad as hell when it happened in the moment. But after, it's like, the car still drives. Nothing's wrong with the car. It's not dangerous to drive. It's just ugly. Oh, fuck, man. Got lucky. Got super lucky. That could have fucked the front end up. And we have to. And I don't have the ability to repair it. And blah blah blah. But it's like, oh, really? Just the bumper? Oh shit! Hell yeah! Thank God. And my headlight still works. Oh shit! Oh, we're golden. Fucking golden, man. I can still drive to work. Not even crooked. Driving straight. Car drives fine. It's just ugly because of that deer. Well, who gives a shit? The car's purpose is to drive. Would I prefer it look better? Yeah. But I can't do anything about it. So I'm not going to stress over it because it's just an appearance. And the people at work only ask about it once. And they hear it hit a deer, can't afford to fix it. And they go, makes sense. Never get bothered about it again. Don't give a shit. It's not like a hat or a bad shirt or something like that. That it's like, you got other shirts, right? Yeah, well, why are you wearing that one? I don't know. It's like, well, I won't wear the bad shirt, but it's a fucking car. And you need it to drive the 20 miles to get to work. People understand that. Right? They also would understand if I only had the one shirt, but I don't. It's like, well, a shirt's kind of a weird thing, but it's like, it's just cosmetic. Who gives a shit? It does not impede my life. It doesn't stop me from getting food. Doesn't stop me from getting money. Doesn't stop me from paying for shit. It doesn't stop me. Just cosmetic. That's it. If it had hurt the car in a way that made it to where I couldn't drive it, whew, that would be bad. but it didn't. It scared me a little bit. That's the kind of stuff I don't worry about. Certain stuff I can't worry about. And I've had to train myself to not worry about that. And it takes a lot of effort to not worry about that. I can't do it with everything. And I don't want to get to a point where I don't worry about stuff, because if I don't, that's when shit bites you in the ass. Just don't worry about it. And then the problem you ignore grows and grows and grows and grows. And then it fucking kills you. I was not trying to ignore this health problem. I was trying to deal with it in my own time. Because after I went to get the EKG and shit to see if it was serious. Well, it wasn't. Okay, then I was going to go to a cardiologist. I didn't want to go to ER and do all this fucking stupid bullshit. Got all this stuff stuck in me for no reason. And it was just that, no reason. A cardiologist could have told me that for the price of a doctor's visit. Hell, the general practitioner probably could have told me that. Like, the only thing they did they couldn't do at that urgent care was give me a fucking chest x-ray. That's all they did. But they do that other shit, I guess, to justify the cost of the bill. I don't know. I don't know, man. But it is a good thing. I'm not dying. I didn't think I was dying in the first place, but I always thought it was a possibility, and it scared the hell out of me. So that stress has been relieved. It's just been replaced by new stress of what the fuck does this mean and how do I get better? Because the answer to how do you get better is you don't. You just manage. That doesn't help. But I'm a lot better off than a lot of people. And I believe that, and I'm blessed, and I'm so thankful for being blessed. It's just, when am I ever going to get a break? In a way, this is a break, because it could have been, oh, your heart's dead. Oh, well, that's not good. But it's not, but it's still very serious. I just don't like how none of the doctors acted like it was serious. Now, I get it. They're heart doctors. Shit, I felt like I was being talked down to the whole time. And once that idea entered my head that, oh, it's stress and shit, it felt like everybody was just rolling their eyes and not giving a shit. I felt it. I could feel it. I was wasting everyone's time. And that's how it felt like they were talking to me. Because I felt like I was wasting their time. But stress is incredibly serious, because it is causing, especially if it's causing your body to fucking shut down. Because that will kill you. 100%. Straight up. And if it doesn't kill you soon, it will kill you in the long game, as it will deteriorate your heart. Stress causes heart attacks. So if I'll be 25 in a few days. At nearly 25 years old, if I'm having enough stress that's causing my body to shut down, at 50, if I can't figure out how to get a handle on this, it may very well kill me. Oh, I also have incredibly high blood pressure. Now, I was trying to figure out what's causing that, because even during panic attacks, my blood pressure wasn't high. Well, that happens to be from the muscle. See, if you're in a lot of pain, you have high blood pressure. Now, stress causes high blood pressure too. But even when I was working out and get stuff done, my blood pressure was still incredibly high. I was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. Well, if you're in a lot of pain, and I'm in a fuck ton of pain, it just don't seem like it right now. That's what happens when you tear a fucking muscle. Or I guess it's just pulled. If it was torn, I would think I would see it, because it bleeds. I don't have any internal bleeding, so it's weird to get what's good news but it seems like awful news. Because it's good news, nothing's wrong with you, or nothing's wrong with your heart. Bad news is something's wrong with you that is not fixable. And I don't know how to deal with that. That's got depressing. Really depressing. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And on that depressing note, we're at an hour 28, 29, 30. It's about time to end this damn thing. And since it's not on Twitch because I couldn't fucking stream, I can upload it immediately. So how do I end this thing? I don't know. Thank y'all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this podcast, there's plenty of other episodes to listen. You can listen to this podcast anywhere podcasts are listenable. That'd be the way to put it. I know it's available on Google Podcast, iTunes, or Apple Podcast now, whatever the fuck they're calling it, and the other places, Spotify. There are other podcast apps too for some reason. Anywhere you can listen to it, you can listen to this podcast. You can also listen to it on Anchor FM, which is how I make the damn thing. Anchor FM is great. If you're a white guy who thinks people want to listen to his opinions, you can make a podcast too. If you want to watch it, like if you are now, there's plenty of other videos on the channel as well. Like the streams that I keep putting up, I've been chopping them up into about like half-hour bits, just so I can have more content on the channel because I haven't been able to record anything because I've been like dead. But other than that, it is content that I make with my wife. Put that up all the time. I do stream from time to time, and this is usually live stream, but the upload was gone because the internet hates me. I don't know why. But yeah, other than that, that's my spiel like I do at the end of every episode. Hope you enjoyed this, and I will see y'all in the next one.